the stumbling, bumbling president that we have managed to get something right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a dead terrorist. So, folks, in case you're wondering, that right there is a dead terrorist. That's right, folks. Now, this fool took over after the last fool that President Trump killed, or gave the order to take out. Sorry, he didn't kill him. Gave the order to take out. And so now this guy took over. Now, interesting about this guy was we had him in custody at one time. Yeah, see, that's one thing that a lot of people aren't really covering is we had this guy in custody before and was released in 2008. And literally there is no documentation as to why. All of a sudden, in all the interviews with this guy, and this guy was singing like a bird, telling us everything he could possibly tell us, and then suddenly it just stopped. No interviews, no nothing, just literally, that was it. And then you fast forward to 2019, Trump orders the attack that took out Baghdadi, and then poof, this guy becomes the leader. And of course, Baghdadi blew himself up in a tunnel underneath the facility. So anyway, like I said, Baghdadi blew himself up in a tunnel. This guy, and here's where the problems lie. In fact, it's how this guy took himself out, and then all the bullshit media that happened directly following it. Even though the Syrians were the ones that were actually telling the truth in the beginning, but the left-wing media was not. But the news story that I got for you guys, this comes courtesy of Sky News.
The US President Joe Biden has confirmed that the leader of Islamic State has been killed in an operation in northwestern Syria. Residents and activists reported multiple deaths, including civilians, from the attack. And the opposition Syrian Civil Defense, also known as White Helmets, said at least 13 people were killed, including 6 children. There's a statement that has been released by President Joe Biden in which he says, "Last night, at my direction, US military forces in northwest Syria successfully undertook a counter-terrorism operation to protect the American people and our allies and make the world a safer place. Thanks to the skill and bravery of our armed forces, we have taken off the battlefield Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurayshi, the leader of ISIS. All Americans have returned safely from the operation. I will deliver remarks to the American people later this morning. May God protect our troops." So just to reiterate that breaking news, President Biden has confirmed that the leader of Islamic State has been killed in an operation in northwest Syria.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, our stumbling, bumbling president actually did something right. And he stayed in the Situation Room last night during the entire operation from beginning to end to make sure that everything went as according to how it's supposed to go. Okay. And God bless the Special Forces for doing the job again. And that video was courtesy of Sky News. Now, here's where the garbage comes out. Our men of the Special Forces, and I say men because people are like men and women of our armed forces. Well, in Special Forces, they're men, okay, did their job, and they did their job very well. The only thing we lost, that the United States lost in that entire operation, was a helicopter. Job was done. We even took a couple into custody from the operation. Okay, we lost no American lives. Even in that report, though, did you notice something interesting? They talked about 12 women and children that were dead. Now, understand that when Sky News ran that story, that was before the totality of the information came out at that moment. That was a very early news story. But later on, during the day, and I've been watching them, the news stories were still coming out that Americans killed women and children. Even this morning when I first saw it, I was like, wow, they're saying that we killed women and children again. I say again because we had a drone strike in Afghanistan that ended up killing a man and his family. It wasn't even our target. Okay. Now, the thing is, I get everybody wants to get the story out. But the problem is the left-wing media, all of them, reported that America killed not only the terrorist, but 12 civilians, which was not true. Okay, that's not true. That's not what we did. And in fact, let's see, do I have the actual stats? I believe I have the actual stats up here. Let me take a look. Yes, so I have the actual stats. Okay, so the American forces killed 3 insurgents or ISIS members. Okay, 3 of them. They freed a bunch of children and a bunch of women. However, as the U.S. Special Forces were inbound, as gunfire started exchanging back and forth, and Abu Shamwal over there, Shamwal decided he's not going to get taken by the Americans, and Shamwal had a pile of explosives. It was originally reported that he had a suicide belt. And that's not the case. Shamwal had a bunch of explosives around him, and he had grabbed children and his wives, and then he detonated the explosives. The reason why the top of that building was blown to shit in that video was from him blowing the explosives. It had nothing to do with the Americans doing anything to him. Shamwal decided to go out the coward's way, and instead of even putting up a fight, blew himself up. He blew up some of his wives, and he blew up a bunch of his children. The thing is, the left-wing media, or state TV, whichever one you want to call it, decided for like a good 4 hours this morning to put it out there that Americans killed the women and children. And that's not what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like that and you want to see much more of that, then what you need to do is you need to click subscribe. And then you need to click the notification button there. So then what happens is every time I go live or that I produce new content for you, you'll get a notification and you can check it out. If you're on another platform like Facebook or Twitch, click follow and then make sure you allow notifications. So once again, if I produce anything new, you'll get that notification and you can check it out immediately. So from all of us here at The Rich Wilson Show, I want to thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.